Welcome back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. We're having some interesting conversations here with the Secretary of the Division of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation. But before we go back into that conversation, we want to take you to the photo of the day, our photo of the day. Yes, and that's our photo of the day sent in by Nature Therapy TT. Can you tell me where this is? Can you tell us here at Tobago Updates where this photo was taken? Photo sent in by Nature Therapy TT. Send your answers into our Facebook and YouTube live chats, and we will reveal the answer at the end of our program. All right, so we're back into the conversation, Secretary, and we want to talk about future plans and projects. I know you mentioned a couple of things, but I'd like to dive a bit more into that. You mentioned the scholarship program. That sounds very interesting.
Yes. So we've divided our executable projects into soft and hard projects. So, at the beginning of this fiscal year, the administration communicated our 44 in 44. And I have 4 things on that list of 44. Well, actually 5, but the fifth one has an asterisk next to it. So we've already delivered the Fort King George, the iconic Fort King George Lighthouse. And actually as we speak, the light is being installed because it took a while to get here. We had to, order it from outside, and it took a couple weeks to get here. So we are now installing that iconic light. And certainly we want to complete the fantasy, which is for people to see that iconic light being turned on, and it's sweeping across the waters, conjuring up the memories of what we had as a child. And that lighthouse stands as a beacon in a lot of persons' mind, to represent the city of Scarborough and represent that particular area and the history, and it's so rich of that space. And we're very proud of the work that was done by the team at EIDCOT and the contractor Parks International. And we've only gotten a lot of rave reviews about the new infrastructure and how it looks, and so everybody's enjoying that space again. And that's part of a wider plan to improve the entire of the Fort King George aesthetic. So that's one project we have delivered. We are in the process of having the Swallows vendor strip being delivered as well. So we have the booths there are 95% complete. We simply have to now place the infrastructure along the waterfront there. So last year, there has been a move to clean up that beachfront. Swallows is one of the more iconic beaches that we have on the southwest of the island. And understanding that we have to balance the considerations of nature and what that brings, but also create opportunities for persons to ply their trade legally and legitimately. We ask the vendors, to treat with their infrastructure. We would bring in infrastructure. We would build it to specifications. We would make sure that we're able to accommodate as much as possible the persons who were displaced during that process. So we would want to be able to deliver that project over the next few weeks with some brand spanking new booths on that waterfront, so that it now takes on the look and feel of a space that is going to encourage commerce and encourage people to walk along that strip, encourage people to visit Swallows Beach and Pigeon Point Beach. And as I say, provide an opportunity for persons to legally and legitimately ply their trade. So that's the second deliverable. The third deliverable is the Scarborough Beautification Project. So the idea behind that, obviously, is we're going to be sprucing up the city of Scarborough, and that would be in time for our bumper July, August vacation period, where we see the bulk of our domestic traffic coming into the island of Tobago, and in time for upcoming cruise ship season and Tobago October Carnival. So the works that would be the responsibility of the Division of Tourism would largely center around that Milford Road waterfront. I cannot reveal too much of the plans just yet, but we have some exciting things that we want to be able to roll out. The first phase of that project was the work that we did to improve the boardwalk in Scarborough and to rehabilitate in Lennox Union Park uptown next to the Assembly Legislature. So the second phase, as I said, will focus on that not Milford Road anymore, Calypso Rose Boulevard. So it would focus on Calypso Rose Boulevard and enhancing that very iconic waterfront. Certainly, as I said, to accommodate all of the traffic and all of the things that are going to be happening along the waterfront for Carnival and for all the other times during the year. And then the fourth project is finally finishing our home of the Blue Food Festival in Bloody Bay. So we started some work. Phase 1 was completed, which was all of the preparation works, getting the site ready, putting in all of the underground infrastructure, things like that. This year we actually want to now finish the rest of the work, which would be the inclusion of the booths, the building in of amenities, bathrooms, toilet facilities, things like that, and certainly landscaping the area so it becomes an attraction in and of itself. So it's not about just having the area ready to host our Blue Food, but encouraging other events taking place in the space and getting some more traffic up to that Bloody Bay area, because it's one of the most beautiful parts of Tobago. The Chief Secretary will fight me. He keeps saying that space side is the most beautiful part of Tobago, but I'm from Northeast, I'm from Palatavia, so we go fight where that one is concerned. But certainly when you think about tourism and you think about having people to leave what they know to experience more, Bloody Bay is one of the most perfect places that people could go to experience more. So we will want to have that facility in place, and it will encourage, as I said, more events to take place, more tourism activity. There's a very strong and vibrant village councils in those areas, so building their capacity to also host their own events and things like that. So those are the focus in terms of major spend projects. The fifth one, and that's where the asterisk is the strawberry redevelopment. Right. The strawberry redevelopment is a huge undertaking, and it's going to cost a pretty penny to do the thing that we want to do. And this fiscal year has been pretty difficult in terms of us being able to source the requisite funding internally to be able to start that project. And I don't want to start the project and then it goes follow because we don't have the funding to continue. We want to be sure that once we break ground on that project, we're able to, because it's divided into 2 phases, we could actually do the construction in 1 phase, but we also have the planning divided into 2 phases, so that if we start phase 1, we should be able to finish phase 1. If we start phase 2, we should be able to finish phase 2. So, that project is actually one of those flagship projects of this administration. We are on record saying that we want to be able to say that we redeveloped Storby into one of the flagship beach facilities on the island of Tobago, and position it not just for the visitors who have come year in, year out, the community who supports all the activities there, and everybody who's part of that ecosystem that has grown over the years, but we really want to also position it as a cruise ship attraction as well. And we have to enhance those facilities to world standard, and in order to do that, we need to spend some money. We haven't identified those funds as yet, and there are a number of options that we have in terms of going out for financing for the project. But we're at mid-year. We're hoping that at the mid-year review, there's some additional funding being made available to the Tobago House of Assembly. For me, I would be pushing Storby as one of the projects that we could definitely look at. But whatever the future of the project is, we would simply come back and communicate to our stakeholders what we are doing in terms of how we are seeking to finance the project and what are the possible timelines for implementation. So those are our 5 projects out of that 44 list that we have as part of what we have to put forward from the Division of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation. All the other things that I've spoken about during the process of this conversation are our soft projects that we are doing within the division. So that is part of my larger list of 44 that I'm ticking off. And, as I said, we have the scholarship program coming on stream. We have the Community Tourism Sustainable Grant Program. We have that program we're doing in collaboration with the Division of Finance and BDU to provide grant support and loan support for different businesses in the tourism and creative sectors. And we have a number of other smaller projects, a lot of other smaller things that we're doing. It's really to keep front of mind, very visible, but not just that. The larger aim behind all of these things, as I said, is to build capacity, because we have to build capacity. We have to get our people ready. The division has to be the lead agency where building capacity in the sector is concerned, certainly working with our stakeholders and being able to provide support to them, strengthening those partnerships across sectors, because a lot of what tourism does impacts on other areas. It impacts on food security and sustainable development and in the environment. It impacts on fisheries, it impacts on education, it impacts on health, it impacts on infrastructure. A lot of what we would want to see happen in the tourism sector impacts on all of these areas. So it's all about ensuring that whatever we are doing it in line with the other plans and mandates of the other divisions and the visions of the other secretaries, and doing our part, because again, The simple fact of the matter is that we have to beckon people to experience more, and it all starts with us. So building capacity starts with the person and extends to the community, and we are just here to do the work, and we're committed to getting the job done.
All right, thank you very much, Secretary. We had such an extensive interview with you, and we have so much more to discuss, but perhaps we could come back and discuss that at another time.
Not a problem, not a problem.
Thank you very much for being with us this morning.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for our program. But before we go, we have to go back to our photo of the day. Our photo of the day is sent in by Nature Therapy TT. And this is a photo of no man's land. Yes, it's a photo of no man's land. You can see there on the right-hand side the Bonaccord Lagoon and the Caribbean Sea on the other side as well. Beautiful shot of no man's land. Thank you very much, Nature Therapy TT, for that photo. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of our program this morning on the Tobago Updates Morning Show, but we have up next GMT, so don't leave, stick with us. Do us a favor, share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll see you tomorrow.